This afternoon from the Bronx, two of the greatest franchises in baseball square off once again. The Yankees, owners of 27 World Series titles, and the Cardinals, owners of 11. Interleague play continues this weekend. Game 1 last night saw 2 home runs hit by the Bombers as the Cardinals rallied late but came up just short. The struggling Birds turn to their young fireballer, Carlos Martinez, today in game number 2. He's looking to get the Redbirds back to their winning ways. Meanwhile, the Yankees counter with CC Sabathia. The 36-year-old is looking for his second win of the year. Today around Major League Baseball, it's Jackie Robinson Day. All players will be wearing number 42 as we recognize an important date in baseball and American history. It's the Yankees. It's the Cardinals. Game 2 from Yankee Stadium comes your way next. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. It's Jackie Robinson Day around the major leagues. All players wearing number 42. We're in New York and Yankee Stadium. It's interleague play. This afternoon, the New York Yankees playing host to the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Hayes is here. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Delighted to have you with us. Cardinals off to a rough start. 10 games in the books. They've only won 3. And today they turn to Carlos Martinez. This should be a fun matchup.
It's a great matchup with CC Sabathia, a guy who perhaps has seen his best 224 games won. That's the most by any active pitcher. And the Cardinals will try to give their best behind their best, Carlos Martinez.
Some changes in Mike Matheny's lineup. We'll tell you about that when we come back. It's the Cardinals. It's the Yankees. It's Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. Sit back, get set. It's the Cardinals and Yankees coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. So look at the UN building, United Nations building in Manhattan, along with Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Yankees have won 5 straight after a rough start, which began on the road for them. The Cardinals are now 3-7 on the young year. And St. Louis losing last night in game number 1. And the Cardinals had the tying run at third base, potential go-ahead run at second, and came up just short tail end of that game last night. Tim.
Yeah, 3 innings earlier, runners on at second and third, and only 1 out, and failed to score in that inning. So they had their chances, and they hope to capitalize on those chances today.
Here's a look at the switch hitting Dexter Fowler. He will lead things off for the Cardinals and play center field, followed by Aledmys Diaz. And then Matt Carpenter. Steven Piscotty bats cleanup. Yadier Molina. Then Jose Martinez. Martinez will be at first base today. Carpenter's the DH. Then Johnny Peralta, Randall Grichuk, and batting ninth, the second baseman Jed Jerko. CC Sabathia pitching on 5 days rest, and he'll go today for the Yanks.
A different pitcher than he was, obviously, when he broke in some 15 years ago. We mentioned 224 wins. That's the most among active pitchers. He features a cutter now that he learns and is in constant contact with Andy Pettitte. He talks to him all the time, said Jason Zillo, the PR director of the Yankees. He's always had a good changeup. So right-handed batters can expect the cutter in, the cutter outside, and the changeup away.
So CC Sabathia gets the start, and a look at his defense behind him. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Gardner, Ellsbury, and Hicks in the outfield. Headley and Torreyes on the left side of the infield. Castro and Bird on the right side, and Kyle Higashioka is the catcher. Here's a look at Joe Girardi, now 11 years that he's been a manager in the big leagues with the Marlins and the Yankees.
Where'd the time go?
Man, seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
Both managers, Mike Matheny and Joe Girardi, replacing Hall of Famers Tony La Russa and Joe Torre.
Big shoes to fill, too.
Oh, boy.
Well, the mantra, or the motto, if you will, of the Chicago Cubs was a year ago, as you go, we go. That was what they would say to Dexter Fowler. And right now, Fowler is 6 for 40 to begin the year. Cardinals really waiting for him to get going.
Normally a better right-handed batter than a left-handed batter.
Here's a 1-1. And on his hands, there's that cutter that you talked about.
Roll call from the bleacher. They're not bleacher bums, they're just bleacherettes, I guess. Everybody has to tip their cap. I think that's a great tradition.
It
don't
is.
You?
I do.
Wonderful.
And a swing and a miss, and a good changeup there by CC Sabathia.
Talked about it in our scouting report. Change up to right-handed batters, and usually that changeup will follow the cutter inside.
And it brings in Aledmys Diaz. The strikeout of Fowler. Diaz is hitting an even 300. 3 home runs. He's driven in 5. See the catcher setting up inside, and CC hits his spot but misses in.
Pretty descriptive, really, when you talk about a cutter. The ball actually cuts in on the right-handed batter. A slider will slide in. Slider has either the dime or quarter spin to it, but the cutter's tougher to pick up because it doesn't have that type spin.
And a ground ball that's hit too short. To Reyes, 2 down. Take a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal. As Tim mentioned, really has reinvented himself with that good cutter. Sinker, slider, fastball, and change. The Hyundai pitch arsenal. Brings in Carpenter with 2 outs and nobody on. Carpenter with a 2-run homer yesterday.
Talked about it last night. That was the hardest hit ball for Matt Carpenter all year. By far.
Without question.
Just stood out. Crushed it.
And Carpenter, the designated hitter this afternoon, looks at a ball low. Love these uniforms of both these teams. Classic.
Birds on the bat and the stripes.
Yep.
Pinstripes.
Here's a 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. CC stands for Karsten Charles Sabathia. Around a long time, closing in on 500 career starts.
From Vallejo, California. Right outside San Francisco, about 45 miles or so.
You were telling me yesterday, and you spend a lot of time on the West Coast, that and in that area, you have yet to run into anybody that has anything bad to say about this man on the mound.
It's kind of the mother-in-law survey, Dan. You know, everybody you talk to, and I mean everybody, has nothing but the finest things to say about Karsten Charles Sabathia. He is a glowing member of the community in Vallejo.
If he can reach 500 career starts, he'll be just the 47th pitcher ever to do so. Three and 2.
If you're a left-handed batter, I don't think you're going to see too many fastballs in on the hands from Sabathia. For the most part, he works left-handers away. That's his slot for left-handed batters.
3-2 pitch, hit to second. And Starlin Castro makes the play. The Cardinals go in order. Carlos Martinez to the mound. We come back to the Bronx. Speedster at the top of this lineup, followed by Aaron Hicks and Chris Carter, who was with Milwaukee a year ago. He'll be the designated hitter. Ellsbury, then Starlin Castro, Chase Headley, Greg Bird, Higashioka, and Torreyes against Carlos Martinez. First time out was sensational Sunday Night Baseball against the Cubs. Last time out was Sunday against the Reds, and struggled in that game.
St. Louis Cardinals have had 2 pitchers to strike out 10 batters, opposing batters, on opening day. Bob Gibson did it, and Carlos Martinez struck out 10 Cubs on that Sunday night.
Goes to the back of the mound, etches in the dirt, remembering Yordano Ventura, who passed away this offseason, and also his friend Oscar Taveras.
See where Real Sports on HBO on Tuesday night doing a feature. They've been trying to produce that for about, let's see, the last week or so, and it's about the accidents that have occurred to Major League Baseball players in the Dominican Republic. It is very alarming, and from what I hear, the feature is very well researched.
2-0 the count on Brett Gardner. HBO just finished up a feature on Rick Ankiel, who has a book coming out.
I heard that. I didn't see it, but I heard that. Rick with that book.
Very well done. It's called The Phenomenon, written by Tim Brown, who's a longtime baseball writer on the West Coast. And Rick's book will release this week.
What a story he has to tell.
Oh, man. And he'll have a book signing coming up at the ballpark next week, and hopefully we'll come on the broadcast for a couple of innings and we'll talk to him about that book. And it's 3-1 on Brett Gardner. Gardner owns 2 of the top 5 stolen base seasons in Yankees history. The best was Rickey Henderson. There's a strike. He stole 93 bags in 1988. Gardner's had seasons of 49 and 47, which put him in the top 5. 3-2 pitch. Tapped foul.
Let's think about Rickey Henderson. His career stolen base record, almost 500 more stolen bases than his second closest pursuer, and that was Lou Brock, of course.
We're thinking about Lou all weekend long.
He just keeps coming to mind, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 3-2 pitch. And a leadoff walk.
That's what happened last night. Bad news when you walk the leadoff batter. Gardner walked on 4 pitches last night. Walked the second time up also.
Cardinals defensively, a look there at Jose Martinez, his second start this year at first base. Grichuk, Fowler, Piscotty in the outfield. And Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Peralta, Diaz, Jerko, Martinez on the infield, Yachty behind the plate.
Dan, it's particularly alarming when you walk the leadoff hitter that can run. Mentioned Gardner in the stolen base, 5 stolen bases. He has not been caught this year.
The check swing did not go. Calling the balls and strikes, Will Little. Jeff Kellogg is the crew chief down at first. Tim Timmons at second, and James Hoy is at third. Fans may have noticed no Matt Holliday in the starting lineup for the Yankees. Initially was in there as the DH, and he is dealing with a sore lower back, so late scratch in the lineup. And that's something that he dealt with at times in his career with the Cardinals too. Good changeup.
Carlos signing as a shortstop and still in the transition of learning how to pitch, and that changeup indicative of that. One of the more resilient arms in the major leagues.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Instead, a check on the runner at first. Mike Matheny has talked about how going into this year he wants to try to control the running game a little bit better. They have plays that are designed for that, in which the pitcher will hold it a little bit longer, maybe step off, throw over. Much of that is dictated, as you see right there, from Mike Matheny.
Funny how speed has slowed down the game.
Yes, good point. Not running, they show bunt, taken for a ball. We were talking at the hotel And you were wondering, how in the heck did I do this for so many years? But bouncing back, day games after night games.
Yeah. You're not trying to make a martyr out of the business of baseball and the players that play it. But it is so difficult, even early in the season, only the 11th game of the year. Yadier Molina, who did have 2 days off, Wednesday and Thursday, catching last night and coming back today. Sometimes you don't really get thoroughly loose until the 5th inning.
Yeah. 3-1 pitch. Gardner is running, and the pitch is taken for a ball. So back-to-back walks to start for Carlos Martinez.
That's the thing about walks. There's no defense for it. Or for them in this case.
There's not many times you hit 41 home runs and you're still searching for a job late in the winter, but that was the case with Chris Carter.
Oh, man.
Led the National League in home runs with 41 last year with Milwaukee, but he did strike out 206 times.
Penthouse or a warehouse.
Yep. And a strike.
Fourth time the Yankees have traded for a guy that led the league or tied for the lead of his league the previous year. Think about the names. Alex Rodriguez in 2004, Johnny Mize in 1949, and Babe Ruth in 1920.
Figured Ruth was on that list.
Oh yeah.
Here's the 0-2. Inside corner, and he went. A strikeout of Carter. They ring him up.
Carter turning his back to the first base umpire, hoping in that way to win the fact that he didn't go around, but he went too far, clearly.
So strikeout of Carter after back-to-back walks. First out here in the bottom of the first, and it brings in Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury signed after winning a world championship with Boston. He is signed through 2020 here with the Yankees with an option for 21. Ball one.
Carlos trying to be too fine early in the count. Jim Palmer used to say a pitcher should use the middle part of the plate to get ahead and get them out with balls off the plate. Pretty good philosophy.
2-0, and it gets away from Molina. And runners advance to second and third.
That's going to be a pass ball on Yadier Molina. That's a ball he normally backhands, sucks up. Looked like it hit the thumb of the catcher's mitt. And that's the harder leather around the pocket. That pocket's soft, and Yadi keeps it that way, but it's a pass ball on Molina.
We talk about strike one. Martinez well over 60% first pitch strikes a year ago. He was 62.3%. And so far this year, 2 starts, 54%, 7th worst in the big leagues. And he falls behind here. It's 2-0. Now that's tapped foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's so important to get strike one. It sets up the potential of a 2-strike count. And when he gets 2 strikes on a hitter, they're hitting .080 against him. Three and 1.
Peralta way off the line, so Gardner can get a good jump on a ground ball.
3-1 pitch, fouled back.
Gives you an idea of how far Peralta, he's actually farther off than he was until the 3-2 count.
(3-2) and he struck him out. Big strikeout for Carlos Martinez.
Gives you an idea of how effective Martinez can be. He walks the first 2 and then strikes out the next 2 on check swings both.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal: fastball, change, very good slider, in the curve.
That's funny. That's more than 100%.
I've noticed that.
57.9, then 25-25. Now, my algebra, I was not that sharp in algebra, but I can tell about 100%.
And that gets away from Molina to the backstop, and it's 1-0 Yankees. And this would be a wild pitch, I would assume, charged to Martinez.
2 walks, a pass ball to set up the runner at third, and a wild pitch to scoring. Yankees have not put a ball in play yet, and they lead 1-0.
Starlin Castro at the plate. Falls behind here. 2 balls and no strikes. Castro was traded from the Chicago Cubs for reliever Adam Warren and a player to be named later. That was former Cardinal Brendan Ryan. That's taken low, 3-0. Castro, a couple of hits last night, including a home run. Three walks in the inning.
Here comes Derek Lilliquist, and I'll guarantee you what he's going to say is to try to stay ahead. Early strikes lead to outs. Late strikes lead to hits. And naturally, you're a guy like Martinez, you don't want to hear that because the pitching coach is explaining the obvious. You're not getting ahead. Well, no kidding. So it's a real political sell when you go out there as a pitching coach. It's tough.
It brings in Headley, the switch hitting third baseman, batting an even .400. Couple of home runs. And when you're falling behind, like Martinez is here, that previous pitch, you just don't get those calls. 1 of 6 first pitch strikes.
Danger lurks with this pitch.
2-0.
I mean, this is the 6th hitter of the inning. They haven't put the ball in play yet. Think about that.
A 3-0 pitch. You know, sometimes you watch Martinez and he's very animated on the mound. You're not seeing that at all here today.
That's an interesting point. And the point brings up the fact that when he's animated, he's more effective. He's happier. That's his feeling.
Into the game.
Right.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. His 4th walk of the inning. A 3-2 breaking ball.
And your point again, a close pitch, but you don't get those pitches when you're wild. Carlos wanted that breaking ball for a strike. It may have been, but when you're not around the plate, you don't get those pitches. So the 7th batter of the inning without putting the ball into play.
Brings in Greg Bird, hitting .043. Just 1 hit on the year. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Yankees. The fastball had a little extra on that one at 99.
It's like a 300-yard drive after hitting one.
Yeah.
In the boonies.
0-1 pitch. 0-2.
Those were angry pitches, the last 2.
We talked about it last night. He better come set too. Last 2 pitches working from the stretch. Did not have a pause. And the 0-2 is lifted down the left field line and out of play. I mean, you don't know what's going inside the head of Carlos Martinez, but we've seen him throw a lot. Seen him pitch with the animated way that he goes about it. You hate to say a guy's disinterested because you don't know.
Now, pensive is perhaps a word that could be used.
0-2 pitch.
You don't want to see Martinez lethargic in any way.
And I think that's the better way to put it.
Yeah.
Carlos had walked a total of 1 in the previous 2 starts and 4 here in the bottom of the first. Pitch number 37 of the inning. And it's a strikeout. So he strikes out the side and he walks 4 and gives up a run.
I don't think I've seen an inning like this in years.
And let's turn to Tim McCarver's Toyota key to the game.
Well, we thought about changing this after that first inning. Play their best behind their best. He obviously is their best. But one of the weirdest first innings that we've seen in a long, long time. 38 pitches at this pace. Carlos Martinez, if he pitched 9 innings, would throw 342 pitches.
Probably not happening today.
Can't stand that phrase, at this pace, anyway.
I think I did that one of the first times that we were doing a game. And he said, Dan, don't use that again.
Don't ever say that again.
And then I said, okay, Tim, let's have a good broadcast and good luck. And then Dan, let me tell you about luck.
Nobody has ever said good luck and meant it.
Meant it.
That,
right.
Yes, that's my theory on that.
Here's a 1-1 that's hit out of play by Stephen Piscotty.
To further that, 9 times 4 is 36. 3 times 9 is 27. So if he pitched and lost the game 1-0, pitched 9 innings, he'd have 27 strikeouts and 36 walks at this pace.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Piscotty. And a fly ball lifted out to deep right center. Ellsbury is there and makes the catch.
Even though that ball went to the middle of the track, that was a soft fly ball the other way. And Jason Zillow, the PR director of the Yankees, had a very interesting statistic. The category was soft hit balls off the meat of the bat. And there are stats for that now. And CC Sabathia, he was 9-13 last year, but he had the softest outs in the American League.
Really?
Yeah, for guys who made contact, obviously.
So 1 out, nobody on for Yadier Molina. First pitch popped up. Bird under it. 2 outs. So 5 up and 5 down for Sabathia.
You know, there are just some times where teams flounder, and you got to shake yourself. This is a major leagues. So as a team, if you have a meeting, or whether you have a meeting or not, you got to shake yourself and shake yourself out of it. We mentioned that word lethargic, and if the Cardinals aren't lethargic through the first 11 games of the season, I don't know who is.
Jose Martinez now at the plate. Couple of doubles, 5 for 9 as he gets a start today. He has been one of their bright spots so far. Made the game interesting last night with his double. With Grichuk at first base, Cardinals electing not to send Grichuk around third. Chris Maloney with that call. And then Chapman got the final out. The game was over 4-3 the final. We talked a lot about that play on the way home in our cab ride back to the hotel. And
excruciating decision
really
one way or the other. If he gets thrown out, it's a bad play because you're sending the tying run for the 27th out of the game.
Martinez, a base hit, broke his bat, and the first Cardinal base runner of the afternoon.
All he does is hit.
Can hit.
He's been doing it since the beginning of spring training, you said.
Tim, go back and look at his numbers in the media guide. Everywhere he's played at, he has hit. And injuries have sidetracked him over the years, and now getting a chance here with the Cardinals. And as long as he continues to hit, you've got to put him in the lineup.
Yeah, you got to find a place for him.
Here's Peralta, 3 for 23 to start the year. The shift on for Johnny. Pitch inside for ball 1. I mean, you've been on these clubs. You've dealt with it before, where teams get off to slow starts. Cardinals winners of just 3 of the 10 first games.
I've been right in the middle of it. Are you kidding?
How do you get it going? What happens?
I do know that you got to shake yourself. You got to wake up. You got to get in each other's face and say, look, this is the big leagues. Let's go.
1 ball, 1 strike on Peralta.
You're not going to pensively get out of it. You got to do it with animation.
Yankees have been trying to bust Peralta in last night, and Sabathia trying to do that here in this first at bat. Lead at first, Martinez short. The 2-1 pitch.
One of Johnny's traits is that he'll look down to see where catchers set up. If they set up away, it's usually an off-speed pitch. See that looking down right there? A lot of hitters do that. And a catcher really can't pick up on that stuff. A pitcher can, but he's too busy worrying about other things.
Inside and a walk by Sabathia. So with 2 outs, a base hit by Martinez. Walk to Johnny Peralta. And in steps Randal Grichuk.
To further that point, Dan, if a catcher sets up inside, you know it's not going to be a breaking ball, because breaking balls are not designed to be thrown inside. So if you're looking down like that, as Peralta will do occasionally, he sees the catcher sitting up inside, he'll look for that pitch inside, and it's usually something hard, almost always.
There's Grichuk. 2 on, 2 outs. And the first pitch is a strike. Oh, 2. You can see the catcher there at the last minute shifting inside.
Yeah, that's because the guy's on at second base. A guy like Martinez can give location. Yoshioka moving inside, and it was a fastball. There, another one.
And Grichuk hits a fly ball out to left. Gardner is back and makes the catch. Takes a hit, and at least 1 run away from the Cardinals. Robs Randal Grichuk on the track and left. Midway through 2, it's 1-0. Yankees with the lead over St. Louis. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, you guys were talking about the decision to hold Randal Grichuk at third base on the Jose Martinez double in the ninth last night. Been getting a lot of attention. I talked to third base coach Chris Maloney, and he told me there's no question in his mind Grichuk would have been thrown out and it wouldn't have even been close. Maloney told me, quote, "You don't get many opportunities against Chapman, and I'm a gambling guy, but that wasn't a gamble. Grichuk would have been out by 20 feet. I asked Maloney if he looked at the video to check himself afterwards, and he told me no need to. Quote, that play is still etched in my mind, Dan.
As you said, Tim, it's a tough play. I mean, if you send him, you're hoping that there's an error or the throw is wide like we saw from Wong last night. I mean, you're really taking a gamble.
Darned if you do, darned if you don't.
Yeah.
By the way, between innings, I got a call from Bob Gibson talking to me. This is the play last night. Grichuk running and Chris Maloney holding him up. And I'll tell you, the more you see it, the more you understand Chris Maloney's move of holding the runner. Bob was saying By the way, when a catcher sets up inside, sometimes left-handers will throw the breaking ball inside, and that's a slider. I said, I know it. I tried to qualify that. He was just checking on me, as he does often.
It is swing and a miss, and that's 4 strikeouts for Martinez. That's great.
Bob watching the game in Omaha. He watches all the games.
It makes me nervous because he tells me when I mess up.
Oh, of course.
All the time.
He's been telling me that for 57 years. Since I met him in '59.
This is last year, the BJC Healthcare difference maker. Holiday went deep twice on Jackie Robinson Day, and Martinez made that start. The great Bob Gibson. It does make you think about all the history at this ballpark, or at least with the Yankees and Bob Gibson. Calling Tim McCarver on the phone.
I met Jackie Robinson through Bob Gibson in 1969 at the Centennial, the night before the All-Star game was scheduled, and it was rained out the next day. Steve Carlton for the Cardinals started the next day. Gave up a 3-run home run to Frank Howard, a monumental shot to center field in our nation's capital.
The Washington Monument, Frank Howard.
Yes, he was.
And it's another strikeout, so that's 3 in a row, and now 5. First time through the lineup for Carlos Martinez.
Through 9 hitters, no ball has been put in play.
Nope.
5 strikeouts and 4 walks.
And it brings in Gardner. Can't figure this game out, can you?
No.
Crazy. So he walked the first 2, struck out the next 2, walked the next 2, struck out the last man of the first inning, and now 2 strikeouts to begin this inning. Gardner scored on a wild pitch. Also saw that and a pass ball in the first inning. Two balls and no strikes. '64 World Series. My partner, a big part of that championship club. Cardinals were close in '96 to facing the Yankees. They were 1 win away. They fell behind, or rather they were up 3-1 to the Braves in that championship series of 1996.
Lost the last 3 games and scored 1 run.
That's right.
Over 3 games, 27 innings. Glavine, Smoltz, and Avery.
I think Maddox was mixed in there too.
Was it Maddox?
Might have been.
Yeah.
Here's a 3-1 pitch.
And then the Yankees played the Braves in the World Series, and it could have been the Cardinals in the World Series, and that's your point.
Yep.
Joe Torre's first World Series.
The Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. 27 titles for the Yankees, 11 for St. Louis. With all the Hall of Famers and the All-Stars, the league pennants. 96 began that great run for Joe Torre here in New York. Aaron Hicks with 2 outs and a foul ball. We haven't seen a lot of good swings against Carlos Martinez in this game either.
One of the reasons he's been out of the strike zone so much. When he's been in the strike zone, he's been dead on. A lot of check swings for 3rd strikes so far.
That 4-walk inning by Carlos Martinez, the most he's ever thrown in an inning. He did have a 3-walk first inning back on May 4th of 2015 against the Cubs. Well, Jose Martinez threw it back to Carlos, and the ball got away. And Gardner had gotten on the ground, diving back into the bag at first. If he was standing, he might have taken off. Here's an 0-1 pitch. And it's taken for a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. I loved what you said last night about your home run. We showed the replay and he said, get going, get over it, get over the wall. Still after all these years. The 1-1 inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hicks had a multi-home run game on Thursday. First of his big league career.
1 home run from the left side, the other from the right side. Mickey Mantle, by the way, leading the Yankees in that category. Home runs from both sides of the plate in a single game. He did it 13 times.
Wow. 13.
Yes.
The 2-1. 2-2. Last Cardinal to walk 4 and strike out 3 in an inning was September 8th of 1999, the aforementioned Rick Ankiel. The 2-2 pitch. Way outside, 3-2.
Don't see many base runners put their hands on their knees as much as Gardner does. The reason for that's pretty simple. If you're running, you have to take your hands off your knees before you run. So why have your hands on your knees? But Gardner does that.
3-2 pitch. There he goes, and it's a walk. 6 walks in an inning and 2/3 thus far. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. So 6 walks by Martinez. Here's Chris Carter, first strikeout of the game for Carlos, back in the first.
Think about it, how tough it's been for Will Little, the home plate umpire.
I was thinking that, yeah. You have no idea where it's going.
No.
When caught Molina. He shook up a bit. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it didn't hit his bare hand. It looked like sometimes it'll hit that glove in odd ways and bend those fingers back. I think it's his left hand and not his right. Not sure. Yeah, it was his left hand. Such action on Martinez's pitches. When it hits that glove and those fingers just are twisted back, turned around, and it hurts.
The 0-2. Struck him out. Strikes out the side.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Coffee fountain, frozen drinks, 50 cents. Next day at On the Run when the Cardinals score 6. So keep the celebration going. Stop by On the Run tomorrow for a thirst-quenching win. You earned it. One hit in this game, and our score is 1-0. And a slider that drops in for a strike. Now Martinez has not been getting that call, but you can understand why.
Sure. Sabathia gets it because he's been more consistent in the strike zone.
And Jerko pops it foul. Last Cardinal to walk 4 or more in any inning was Jerome Williams last year in September. He had 4 in the 8th inning in a game at Cincinnati.
Probably a blowout game, I would think.
And the last Cardinal to walk 4 in the first inning was Danny Jackson back in 1996.
My gosh. 20 years ago.
Yep.
Danny one-knee Jackson. You remember he used to deliver that fastball and get on that left knee? Used to wear a knee pad, as a matter of fact. Tom Seaver used to do that.
That's the one I think of more than ever.
Yeah, Tom would drop that right leg down, causing his fastball to go up in the strike zone. Used to get ahead more with foul balls than any pitcher I ever saw.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
You'd be 0-2 after 2 foul balls. You wouldn't swing through him because he'd challenge anybody. Knew kind of what was coming. But you just could not get on top of that rising fastball.
Jerko hits it out of play. So with the lefty on the mound this afternoon with Sabathia, Wong sits. Cardinals have 3 on the left side on their bench. Wong, Matt Adams, Greg Garcia, and the backup catcher Eric Fryer from the other side. The 2-2. Hit to short. Torres to his left. One away. Are we at the stage in watching, like, let's say a guy like Adam Wainwright, does he need to recreate himself in a way that Sabathia has done here with his career?
I think it's a very good question. Certainly similar in that regard.
Adam goes tomorrow night. Hit up the middle, backhanded by Castro. Settles and throws and takes a hit away from Fowler. Nice play.
Really good play by Starlin Castro. And keep in mind that he was primarily a shortstop for the Cubs, so he's kind of got a shortstop's arm at second base. Can make that play where he has to go to his right a little more fluidly than most second basemen.
Aledmys Diaz now with 2 outs and nobody on. Grounded out to short, first time up. One of the players that Aledmys idolized growing up in Cuba but couldn't watch him on television but knew about him was Derek Jeter. And Jeter will have his number 2 retired next month.
May 14th, Mother's Day. How appropriate, since Derek Jeter's wife is pregnant with their first child.
Mike Matheny was at the workout for Diaz before the Cardinals signed him, and he said the first thing he noticed was that Diaz walked like Derek Jeter. Everything he did was like Derek Jeter. And they asked him about it, and he said, well, that was the one guy I could see occasionally on videotape in Cuba.
I didn't know that. I haven't heard. That's a great story.
And then the hitter that he idolized was Albert Pujols. The 1-2 pitch. Pulled foul.
It's like when Mickey Mantle used to run, he had that little limp because of his osteomyelitis. And Marv Throneberry, who had 40 home runs 3 years in a row in AAA ball, used to try to run like Mickey. And Casey Stengel told him, he said, we want you to hit like Mickey, not run like him. And Marvelous Marv never did.
Not many did either.
No.
Two and two the count. The check swing did not go. Held up. And the count runs full.
I grew up in Memphis, and Marvelous Marv Throneberry grew up in Memphis also. And his high school, Southside High, was about halfway between my school when I was in grade school and my house. So I would stop by and watch him play football. He was a marvelous football player. But I think he was close to 21 when he graduated.
Is that right?
Yeah. Signed the biggest contract ever. $100,000 in 1951 with the Yankees.
Big money then.
Oh my gosh, big time money. But I loved Marv Throneberry. I mean, he was an icon in Memphis.
The 3-2 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. Took something off it, the changeup, and the second strikeout for CC Sabathia. Midway through 3, and the Yankees on top. He has walked 6. He has struck out 6. He is not allowed a hit, but trails 1-0. Arcia in the driver's seat. A look at his numbers in interleague play. 6 starts, very good ERA. A lot of strikeouts. You have to wonder too how uncomfortable the at-bats are for the Yankees, for a guy that's really not around the strike zone. He's throwing close to 100 miles an hour. I mean, it's not an easy at bat to take.
No.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury.
You may get a standing ovation here for a ball put in play by the Yankees.
There's a strike, 1-1.
It's almost like a soccer game so far.
Keith O'Brien in our truck has looked up this number. Since 1974, there has been nobody in baseball do what we've seen in the first 2 innings today by Carlos Martinez. And there's the first base hit. Ellsbury, a single to left. which is 6 walks, 6 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. There's Pete Kozma there on the left, the former Cardinal, now with the Yankees, and he was Jim's pregame guest. And I do believe there was a hug at the end of that interview too. The holiday one was a bit uncomfortable in watching it and seeing on television just how long the hug was. And today was a little shorter with Pete, but still nonetheless hugs all over the place. Here's Starlin Castro, and he looks at a strike.
Jerry Lee Lewis used to have that song, A Whole Lot of Shaking Going On. Jim Hayes has a whole lot of hugging going on the last 2 days.
A lot of hugging.
Telling you.
Ellsbury, your runner at first, and the 0-2 pitch. Instead, a check on the Yankees center fielder. Well, you're a star among stars. When we come to New York, all the different people that have come in our booth to say hello.
Stop it.
Including Bob Anderson, who's in the booth with us today. The great Bob Anderson. And time is called. Well, Carlos did not have the hair extensions for Game 1 on Sunday Night Baseball. And then he got them, and things haven't gone his way.
No.
I mean, baseball players are superstitious, as there's a strikeout, and that's number 7. Brings in Headley, who walked back in the first. "65 pitches already for Carlos Martinez." Good jump by Ellsbury. Throw by Molina is not in time, and a stolen base.
A walking lead by Ellsbury. He was in motion before Martinez started his delivery. Great jump. No chance for Yadier Molina.
Sun now peeking through the clouds here at Yankee Stadium in New York. The 1-0. Ground ball hit to the right side. Martinez bobbles it, and everybody's safe. First error on Jose Martinez.
Thing about that is, he had the ball in the glove. It happened, the error that is, happened on the transfer. Jose trying to get the ball in the bare hand so he could shuffle it off to Martinez, the easier play. And he bobbled it.
And it brings in the struggling, and I mean struggling, Greg Bird. 2 weeks into the season, 1 hit. Well, you think about defense and trying to stay sharp. Great example of that would be Mike Leake and his approach to how quickly he pitches. Ball puts the ball in play. And today with Martinez, it's been walk after walk, 6 of them. He's given up 1 hit. He has struck out 7. Runner goes. Throw by Molina. No throw. Stolen base. 2 men in scoring position now for Bird.
Ledmus Diaz was in, and now he's moved back behind Chase Headley. So the infield back for the Cardinals.
It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Good time for a strikeout for Martinez.
You bet. And with 2 strikes now, they bring the infield in.
I think if you're Girardi, you send Ellsbury anyway. The worst that can happen is runners end up at first and third with the out at home, but you've taken a chance to score a run. Just because the infield's in, it's no sure out at home. Not with a guy with Ellsbury's speed.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss, and Bird strikes out. He's already starting to hear some of the boos at Yankee Stadium. Well, fans, if you can't catch the games on television, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Midwest and Cardinals baseball with you wherever you go. So 8 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez, and now 2 2/3. Kyle Higashioka is at the plate. The catcher calls time. He struck out back in the second. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. In the air. Diaz calling for it. And he's got it. Yankees strand 2. They have left 7 on through 3. They lead 1-0. And we talked about it last night, the historic game that was put together by Roger Clemens with win number 300, strikeout number 4,000 of his career. But a comparison between the 2 teams since our last meeting in the Bronx in 2003. And Sabathia back to work. He'll get Carpenter, Piscotty, and Molina. Just joined us. All players and those in uniform wearing number 42 to honor Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. Carpenter grounded out to second his first time up. Among active pitchers, CC Sabathia leads in strikeouts. He's closing in on 3,000. And he also is the active leader in complete games with 38.
That's in 17 years.
38 complete games, the most of any active pitcher right now.
That's a little more than 2 complete games a year.
To think the great Bob Gibson, 255 complete games.
Bob used to say he'd look down the bullpen and he'd tell Red Shandy, Red, who you're going to bring in is not as good as me.
Even
So
if he
I'm
was
not
on
coming
fumes,
out.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And sure enough, that was true. Talk about 1968 and Gibson. That year, he started 34 games and had 28 complete games, 13 shutouts, 1.12 earned run average. And the game's changed so much. I mean, you know, pitchers, when they wanted to finish what they started.
Sure.
And why not?
Put it in your hands, right?
Yeah.
3-2 pitch to Carpenter. And he beats the shift, a base hit into right.
That was a hanger from Sabathia.
I find it really interesting. I mean, 38.
Oh, yeah. It's a great point to bring up. A little more than 2 complete games a year is what CC has averaged.
He is 22nd on the all-time strikeout list, 2,700, and with 2 more today, 33. And he's now tied with Frank Tanana. And that's 5th all-time among lefties. Late with the swing, Piscotty for strike 1. And also, if you've joined us late, the first inning featured 4 walks and 3 strikeouts, a wild pitch, and a pass ball for Carlos Martinez. He's recorded 8 strikeouts through 3 innings and walked a total of 6. So you're the Cardinals, you're struggling, you're not hitting home runs at the clip that you did a year ago. And as this season goes on, it'll be interesting to watch Mike Matheny and how much he wants to do, let's say, a hit and run or try to get things going offensively with his club.
Home runs made up for a lot of the foibles of the Cardinals offense last year. Thus far this year, I think fans are seeing what it's like when they don't hit home runs.
Sure.
Ledmus Diaz has 3, and the Cardinals have 8 as a team through 11 games.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals will play Sunday night baseball tomorrow. They'll get into St. Louis probably 4 or 5 in the morning. Play Monday night against the Pirates, home for just 3, and then back out on the road. Inside, 3-2. Would this be one of those times that you want to run?
No, you got to.
Little bigger lead this time by Carpenter. Not running, and it's off of Sabathia. Flips to first, and they get the first out here in the 4th. CC is waving off the training staff of the Yankees, saying he's fine.
We talked about it last night. I do not understand why Mike Matheny does not send a runner right here. You have a contact hitter up there. Piscotty is not a guy who strikes out a lot. And sometimes when you just try to make contact, you're a better hitter because you don't try to do too much. And knowing the runner's running makes you slow your swing down.
Yadier Molina made his major league debut in 2004, and this is his 34th ballpark that he's played in the big leagues. as we had not been to the new Yankee Stadium, which opened in 2009. Molina softly hit to short. To Reyes, makes the play, and Carpenter still standing at second. And with that, there's 2 outs, and it brings in Jose Martinez. A base hit to right, his first time up.
I think if I were Sabathia, I'd try to make Martinez hit a ball out of the strike zone.
Then you say, well, if I walk him, so what? I got Peralta coming up, and he's 3 for 23.
Right, without an extra base hit.
Yeah.
No two situations are the same. I mean, normally you wouldn't even think about doing that if Peralta were hitting.
Taken low, 2 balls and no strikes. Sabathia has struck out 2, allowed 2 base hits and 1 walk this far. Three and 0.
That's what he's doing.
Last year, through 10 games, the Cardinals had 17 home runs. The record was 6-4. The 3-0 pitch to Martinez. We saw Sabathia have the incredible stretch of games, and it was complete game after complete game to really pitch Milwaukee into the postseason, and he parlayed that into a huge contract here with the New York Yankees.
So after looking like he was pitching around Martinez, he throws 2 straight strikes.
Ball gets away. He did not get a piece of it. Throw to first, and they get him. It's in time. So strikeout of Jose Martinez, the 3rd of the afternoon for Sabathia.
After coming back with 2 strikes, he did throw that ball out of the strike zone as Huggable Jim is at it again.
hugging Jim, and it's 1-0 Yankees in the bottom of the fourth. Jim, what's the deal with all these hugs?
You build bonds when you're doing regional cable, Dan, covering a team. You know, truth is, many consider Pete Kozma a long shot to make the Yankees opening day roster. Yanks had a key injury. Here he is. Pete told me he'll always remember his time with the Cardinals. He told me all those years in the playoffs, so many years in a row. He admits he'll go back and watch video from time to time. He says, who wouldn't? He told me there are so many similarities between the way the Yankees and Cardinals operate. Totally professional, with winning always a top priority. He says Yankee fans are a bit more rowdy than Cardinal fans. And as for the New York media, Pete told me, I don't know yet. No one's talked to me yet.
Well, he hasn't played a lot, so that's probably one of the reasons why. All right, Jimmy, thank you. Pete was Jim's guest on the pregame show. Here's Brett Gardner after the flyout by Torreyes. Gardner has scored the lone run today, scored on a wild pitch back in the first. Martinez has struck out 8 and walked 6.
I'll tell you one place that Pete Kozma is well known. Washington.
Yep. Jim, a few years ago, I guess it was the year after the big hit that he had in 2012, did what we call an MOS, a man on the street. So he went out and interviewed Nationals fans and asked them their opinion of Pete Kozma. Well, to say it was less than flattering, many of the things that he heard. There's a strikeout, and we would, in the feature, then go back to Pete Kozma saying, thank you very much. Then it'd go to the other man on the street, you know, the other fan. They'd have something disparaging to say.
I didn't see that. That would have been great.
He comes back. I appreciate your thoughtfulness. Thank you.
That's fabulous.
He said every time he would go into Washington, booed. Every single time he's announced by that crowd, or to that crowd. Strikeout number 9, by the way, for Martinez. That pitch is hit out of play and foul off the bat of Hicks, who has walked twice. Nine strikeouts, 7 left on. And the 0-1 pitch. That slider is tightened up a bit here in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2. Fastball at 98.
Dan, to elaborate on something we talked about earlier, the slider, when it has quarter spin, it is loosely wrapped. When it has the dimes spin, it's tightly wrapped. Martinez with the dime wrapping of the slider, even though that was a fastball right there.
So 10 strikeouts for Martinez through 4. Some nasty stuff. It's 1-0. number 5, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Yankees. Peralta on the first pitch, and a grounder that's backhanded by Headley. 1 pitch, 1 out. Happy 35th birthday to Quayne Tull, who's celebrating by having a little barbecue back home and listening to us, watching the game on Fox Sports Midwest. Happy birthday, Quayne.
Sounds like a nice day. I hope.
I'd like to think so. Randall Grichuk, first time up, hit one to the track with 2 runners on, and a nice play that was made by Brett Gardner. The 2-0 pitch. Grichuk with a line drive to center. Ellsbury is there. 2 outs. Saturday, May 20th, Busch Stadium hosts the 13th annual Purina Pooches in the Ballpark Day. Come downtown, enjoy a ball game with man's best friend beside you. Limited number of tickets are on sale now at cardinals.com/pooches. Jed Jerko grounded out to short. 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Cardinals with just 2 hits against Sabathia. Out to left. Gardner, good jump, made the play. Yankees on top by a run. Midwest, and the Blues invite you to a playoff plaza party before the game on Clark Avenue Plaza at Scott Trade Center. Food, drinks before you head inside, and stop by the Fox Sports Midwest booth, pick up a special playoff koozie, and support Autism Speaks. So be there tomorrow at 11:30, and let's go Blues. We're in the 5th, and Martinez has struck out 10
in 4 innings.
That's his line. 1 run, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts, 6 walks.
12 outs, 10 strikeouts.
84 pitches on the day. Carter has struck out twice. And here's an 0-2 pitch. That's 11 strikeouts this afternoon. His career high is 13. He did that last year against the Milwaukee Brewers.
No doubt in anybody's mind, particularly Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, that Martinez could throw 200 pitches in a game. Easy. Cake. Young enough, resilient enough. But obviously, with pitch counts so important now, that's not going to happen. We know that.
Ellsbury past Jed Jerko into right field. So the 2 hits he's given up, both have been to Jacoby Ellsbury. See if the Yankees want to do some running here, as they did back in the 3rd with Ellsbury. There's Starlin Castro, walked and struck out. Kubota Power Stats, a look at the home run leaders this far. Texas with 18, Detroit 15, and then the Bronx Bombers. One of your jobs, if you will, one point in your career was working with the Hall of Fame, and really they were interviews that you were doing more for, I guess, reference. Would that be the right way to put it?
Back in the middle 80s, yes. Yeah. Right.
As time is called, Martinez completed the pitch. How about sitting down with Mantle or DiMaggio or Berra?
I talked to Mickey Mantle at his home in his backyard in Dallas.
Is that right?
I talked to Ted Williams in Winter Haven, Florida. And I mean, he was all over me. Called me Bush. You know, you're late. I was about 2 minutes late. And then he started with the rod and reel and started talking fly fishing. And I knew nothing about fly fishing. I still don't. But he was one of the more charismatic people I have ever encountered.
I bet. Runner at first, Ellsbury. Not running. Pitch taken for a ball.
At one point in the interview, I asked Ted if he had it to do all over again, would he have talked to the press any differently, or would he have done the same thing? He said, I would have done it differently.
Is that right?
Yes. And there were tears in his eyes when he said that. Man reeking of sincerity.
1 ball, 1 strike. What'd you learn about Mantle that maybe you didn't know, having played against him? And you hear all the stories about him, but
after my interview with Mickey, his son and I, Mickey took us to a gentleman's club.
Well, that's not where I was going with this.
Well, I know, but it's the first thing that came to my mind.
And I bet the stories kept going from there.
Yes. But not here, they won't.
I got you. That's great. 2-1 the count on Castro. 2-2. Did you know DiMaggio well?
No, I did not. I never interviewed DiMaggio either. Jack Buck did back in 1990 when the All-Star game was played in Toronto. He interviewed both Williams and DiMaggio at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And probably only a little clip was used, and there's what, 45 minutes of some greatness probably sitting there.
That's a good point. I don't know the answer to that, but that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack and I were both working for CBS at the time.
The 2-2 popped up. Martinez or Jerko? It's going to be Jed Jerko. He makes the catch. Martinez, by the way, is a natural right fielder, and they moved him to the infield last year to play first base under Mike Schilt at AAA. So he had never done that prior to a year ago. So still getting used to some of the little things that happen around the bag. He was telling me the other day.
It's always been deemed a position where you just put somebody because anybody can play it. That is certainly not true.
Chase Headley has walked and also reached on an error. Ellsbury was about a third of the way down to second base and then stopped.
Sometimes first base needs someone to play the position with such prowess that he opens up your eyes about how difficult it is for everybody else. And in my view, Keith Hernandez was like that. He's the best I've ever seen by far. Nobody's even close.
Many believe he is by far the best defensive first baseman ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
I wouldn't quibble with that. How can you be any better?
3-0 the count. Well, he's not walked a man since back in the second, but he's walked 6 on the day. Ellsbury, the runner at first with 2 outs. And a high strike that catches the corner too. Chevy Fox Tracks, take a look at the last pitch. Three and 2. Where are those interviews, by the way, that you conducted? They're all at the Hall of Fame?
I did 33, and they're called the greats of the game, and I don't know where they are.
We got to find them.
I'm not sure. I would imagine the Hall of Fame would have them. I did most of them at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
In fact. For the right price, pal, you can have them.
That's what it always comes down to. 3-2 pitch. And it's a ball. So the 7th walk by Martinez today. Get a collection going, I think. Budweiser, what's on tap? Lance Lynn will go against the Pirates, and note the start time there. 5:30 pregame show, 6:05 first pitch. So if you have a ticket, 6 o'clock game. Ivan Nova and Lance Lynn. It'll be Monday night in our Budweiser What's on Tap.
Ivan Nova with about 5 years here with the Yankees.
That's right. Here's Greg Bird. He has struck out twice. And he is alone stranded 5 on the afternoon. The Yankees have had multiple opportunities to add on to this 1-0 lead. They have stranded 7 in this game. Pitch number 99 from Carlos Martinez. 2-1. Starting to stretch now in the Cardinals pen. If he gets Bird, the question will be, can you squeeze one more inning out of Carlos Martinez, or do you want to?
Getting through this inning is paramount right now.
Three-one pitch to Bird. Bird last year missed the entire season.
Yeah, had 11 home runs and 157 at bats or plate appearances a year before. So promise there, but nursing an injured foot right now. He's a sprained right instep.
Runners go, and he walked him. One hit on the year and a 3-2 breaking ball. That's 8 walks to go along with the 11 strikeouts.
That is a questionable call. I agree with you. You know, if there's one guy you could challenge, it's Greg Bird in this lineup.
Absolutely. Higashioka is 0 for 2. The catcher today, he is struck out and also popped out. And a fastball at 98 miles an hour. This big crowd ready to erupt here at Yankee Stadium. Oh, and 2. Line drive out to center. Fowler on the move, and he's got it. The Yankees strand the bases loaded. They have stranded 10 in this game. Martinez has walked 8. He has struck out 11 through 5. We're in New York, and it's 1-0. Games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. StubHub connects you with the world of live. StubHub, your ticket out. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan marketplace of the Cardinals. What an odd line that is. 8 walks, 2 hits, 11 strikeouts through 5 innings for Carlos Martinez. And the Cardinals do not have anybody throwing right now in their pen. And a strike to Fowler. 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out.
Cardinals are saying my kingdom for a hit, for a run.
Anything.
For first and third, first and second, nobody out. Something.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2. You'd have to think that Fowler is starting to feel a little bit of the pressure too, coming over to a new team, and he's now 6 for 42.
No doubt.
One-two pitch, and Fowler hits it down the right field line. Stays fair, and the catch is made by Aaron Hicks, and Dexter is 0 for 3. So the Cardinals just with 2 hits today. There's 4 total in this game. Diaz has grounded out to short and also struck out swinging back in the 3rd.
And what is noticeable about the offense, it's the hitters are not hitting in 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 counts. They're hitting in 0-1, 0-2 counts.
Yep.
And they're coming in droves.
As Diaz trying to bunt his way on. Strike 1. So it looks like Mike Matheny is going to send Martinez out for 1 more inning.
Yeah, one would think.
The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Lifted in the air out to shallow right center. Backing up, Castro. Basically in center field, makes the catch. Well, Tim, you can spruce up your garden this spring with a new gnome. That's Friday, April 28th. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home an exclusive Bruce Sutter garden gnome. And for more information, get your tickets, cardinals.com/promotions.
I'm a fool about gnomes. Love them.
You've got them all over your backyard.
Yes, I do.
You're
Big
telling
fan
me
of gnomes.
You're one of the world's best collectors of gnomes. And not just baseball, but all across different entertainment sources and walks of life. That's great. We'll add Bruce Sutter to that collection on Friday.
Man of mixed interests.
Here's Carpenter, who is 1 for 2. As he pulls it foul. Well, just like you were saying before, 0-2 the count.
Yeah. For the Cardinals right now, it's like you get out of bed in the morning and it's 0-2.
Wild Bill Hallahan back in 1930 against the Cubs, the last Cardinals starter with 8 or more walks to go along with 11 plus strikeouts in his start.
Oh, that's great. Good going.
And it was a 9 innings that he went that game.
Man.
The check swing.
Those were Gas House Gang days.
Yep.
Matter of fact, that was the year that Babe Ruth signed the $80,000 contract, and while criticized, they said, "Well, you're making more than the president." He said, "I had a better year than the president."
It was the Cardinals and the Yankees in the 26 World Series, and Ruth was thrown out trying to steal second base
for the
to end it.
for the 27th out of the game. Yeah. Cardinals 1-7.
Strikeout of Carpenter.
That's the third time on a check swing that Matt Carpenter has complained that he did not go around in 2 games.
Matheny and Joe Girardi, the 2 managers respectively of their clubs. Mike in year number 6 with the Cardinals, made it to the World Series in 2013, losing to Boston, and Joe Girardi winning with the Yankees in the first year of this ballpark in 2009. You mentioned it, Tim, how Carpenter has been frustrated on these check swings in this series. That was the home plate umpire last night, who's now at third, and that just rung him up, and that's Jeff Kellogg. Commercial break, it was Carpenter giving him an earful. So Martinez pitching into the bottom of the 6th. The Cardinals do have activity in their pen. Right-hander and a lefty getting loose. And Diaz initially didn't see it. No one does, and it drops right in front of Grichuk. Throw to second and safe at second base. Now, do they call him out? No, he's going to be safe. Mike Matheny's going to take a look at this. No one saw it.
Yogi Berra, I know you're saying Berra had all those quirky sayings, but he used to say it gets laid out here early. And he was talking about left field at old Yankee Stadium. The reason for that is it's very difficult to shade your eyes and you can't find the ball. I mean, you're not going to see a ball missed by this much. Randall Grichuk had to be 6 feet from that ball when he finally retrieved it. And the tag was not in time as Jerko missed the left hand. A great slide by Torres. He hooked that left hand. They're going to look at it, but it looked to me like he was safe.
Tim, this is one of the plays that they showed me at the replay center the other day at MLB. And the camera that they have here at Yankee Stadium is one of the better looks that they have on plays at second base. And like I told you last night, our viewers, they could blow this play up and see it I mean, get really close to see whether or not his hand ever left the bag. And they say there are certain ballparks that are better for these replays, this being one of the better ones, and in particular that camera angle that you just saw.
Yeah, well, the question is, was the left hand in there before the tag was applied to the torso?
Either way, nothing going right for the Cardinals. Routine pop-up, and it drops in for a potential double. Diaz never saw it. Then Grichuk.
Neither did Grichuk.
Yeah.
Had Jerko been a little more assertive instead of just holding the glove in front of the bag and going after the left arm, they get the call, I think. But he just had the glove there, and the left hand was more aggressive than Jerko's glove.
Terrific slide by Torres, and he is safe. So the call stands. Torres, a gift double. The third hit for the Yankees. Brett Gardner has walked twice and struck out. Fastball and a strike at 95. Big gap in right center.
I'll tell you, in an age where a lot of players don't run balls out, Torres should be congratulated. I know that sounds strange. Or a pat on the back for being on second base. A lot of guys wouldn't even have tried that. Not only did he go to second, but he made a great slide to be safe. And really earned a double.
0-2 pitch, ground ball. Martinez gets the short out at first. And advancing on the play, Torres to third.
Now you have to play the infield in.
Sure.
And Martinez facing Hicks, who has been one of his strikeout victims, one of his 11 on the day.
He struck out every batter in this lineup with the exception of Chase Headley. Hicks struck out back in the fourth. Martinez with 11 of them today. And he's also walked twice. 113 pitches for Carlos Martinez. Infield in, first pitch. Martinez bare hands, throws it over Molina. He had time. The run scores. Molina down to second. That's not in time. And Hicks is at second base. The sloppy play continues. It's 2-0 New York.
A brilliant play to field the ball as he did, and a careless play to throw it away. Both ends of a spectrum. He actually had a chance to stop, gather himself, and make a good throw to Molina. No need to hurry the throw.
Runner at second, so Hicks also hustling, puts himself in scoring position. 2-0 Yankees. The second air committed by the Cardinals today. Fielder's choice. Air on the play by Martinez and an RBI. I realize he's young. You probably could throw him 200 pitches if you want. 115 though in April. Starting to gather here for Carlos Martinez. He struck out Carter 3 times. The 1-1. You're wondering, his career high in pitches 122, and he did that last season. It was in June against Pittsburgh. Carter a base hit into left. Hicks will score. 3-0 Yankees.
Yeah, you almost have to take him out now, I think.
Brett Cecil coming on. Our Chevy call to the pen when we come back. First year of a 4-year deal with the Cardinals. 5 appearances, ERA over 13. 7 hits allowed and 3 in the third. So Cecil takes over for Carlos Martinez. The first man he'll face is Jacoby Ellsbury in a 3-0 Yankees lead. Well, you look at 2 of the 3 runs and how they scored today, and really going to the 3rd run too by putting a man in scoring position with the air. It's just been sloppy. I mean, that's no other way to put it.
In a very short time, the Cardinals have hit rock bottom after 11 games. I know there are 3 innings left to play, but got to laugh to keep from crying.
And a ball to Ellsbury. Runner at first. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Chris Carter is the runner at first base. The Yankees are familiar with Cecil. He nearly threw that away. All his time in Toronto and these 2 teams in the American League East.
Brett almost picked off Jose Martinez with that throw to first. Ball sailed on him. One 0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Think about it. I mean, a throw to first base with Chris Carter over there, where's he going? The answer is nowhere.
Two and one the count. Our Hyundai pitch arsenal, the change cutter, and Winwright, a very good curveball for Brett Cecil. Two balls, two strikes. The 2-2. Got him. The strikeout for Brett Cecil. 2 away in the inning.
Saw a photo the other day of Brett Cecil, who had that, I think he throws a knuckle curveball with that, with the nail of the index finger of the left hand gripping the ball. Very deceptive pitch and tightly wrapped. It's a changeup grip right there.
And there's the changeup.
There's a changeup.
Who knew? At the plate, Starlin Castro. It's a circle change grip.
Another throw to first, trying to get the speedy Carter.
Oh, 1 pitch. Up and in. Cardinals will face Pineda tomorrow night. O'Connor with Adam Wainwright, and we're back home on Monday against the Pirates. And the 1-1. Check swing foul. We were talking off air, just this ballpark, how big it is. It doesn't have that intimate feeling that the old Yankee Stadium possessed. One, two, and he got him with a changeup. So back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Cecil in relief of Carlos Martinez. We head to the 7th. The bloop double turns into a run, aided by this error. 3-0 Yankees. Baseball, and Jackie, career as a Brooklyn Dodger, broke the color barrier 70 years ago today. Rookie of the Year, batting champion, MVP, 6 World Series appearances and a title, and inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame in 1962.
That World Series title for the Brooklyn Dodgers came in 1955 behind the 2-0 shutout by Johnny Padres in Game 7 at Yankee Stadium. The great catch by Sandy Amorose down the left field line, hit by Yogi Berra.
Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit on a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Incredible athlete that Jackie Robinson was.
Oh my gosh.
Not just baseball. Slowly hit towards third and gloved by Headley, foul.
I used to work with Ralph Kiner for 16 years here in New York, Dan, and Ralph used to talk about to give you an idea about how good an athlete Jackie Robinson was, his ability to get out of rundowns, and a minimum of 5 throws for Jackie Robinson. There'd be no one of those one throws and tag him out. You never got that with Robinson. He could stop on a dime, turn on a dime, and that's the most poignant thing that Kiner remembered about Jackie was his base running.
Ouch. Piscotty hit by the pitch. They've gotten that on the foot or the ankle.
I think you're right. It's a rare place to get hit. Looks like a cut fastball on the outside of the left ankle, it appeared. Maybe that'll open up something for the Cardinals here with Molina coming up.
Molina 0 for 2. Popped out to the first baseman. And also grounded out to short as he looks at strike one.
Yeah,
he's taken all the way.
Almost knew he was going to do that because he swung at first pitch, both his first time up and second time up.
Does that an awful lot.
Yeah.
Very aggressive early in counts. And the 0-1 pitch to Molina. From the Yankees' perspective, they have to be thrilled with what they've seen to start this year out of CC Sabathia. Really a lot of question marks with him. How much is left in the tank? Can he be a guy we can count on?
Sure.
Well, here he is pitching into the 7th. And he's allowed just 2 hits. Double play ball. And they'll just get 1. Heads up play by Sabathia to let that go. The natural inclination of a pitcher many times is to go after it.
Yeah, even though it was his glove hand, even though he's a big man, he is a very adroit fielder. But that's an interesting pickup by you. Let the sure hands have it. And CC did.
Jose Martinez 1 for 2, base hit to right back in the 2nd. And the other Cardinal hit was in the 4th. That was Carpenter with a single to right. And that has been it. Martinez with a fly ball. Shallow left center. Ellsbury is there to make the catch. Sabathia keeps shaking his right arm, not his pitching arm, but the glove arm.
Yeah, maybe that's one reason he let that ball go, and now he's feeling his right elbow like it's hurting him.
Yeah. Two outs, runner at first. And Peralta looks at a strike. Again shaking that glove hand. Something's not right there. 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Peralta, strikeout. Time to stretch here at Yankee Stadium. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. The train drops you right off at the front door here at Yankee Stadium. Is Miguel Sokolovich will take over for St. Louis. Brett Cecil, a couple of strikeouts in relief of Carlos Martinez. This is our Chevy call to the pen. And Miguel will pitch here in the bottom of the 7th. I thought you had a great idea, though, yesterday, Tim. We took the train over here to the ballpark, and you said, let's live a little. And boy, did we.
Did we ever.
We brought Jim Hayes with us.
Yeah.
New York native.
That's the first time I've been on a New York subway in 20 years, probably.
Brought back some great memories, didn't it?
Not particularly. Hey, we're trying to help the city out. Take mass transit.
Sure.
Come on.
I like doing the one at Citi Field. Just people watch a little bit.
Yeah.
Boy, will you learn about life on those trains. Chase Headley leads it off. And Bird. Yankees leading 3-0. Bottom of the 7th. So Carlos Martinez walks 8 in the game and he strikes out 11.
Cardinals really only a hill behind as far as, you know, 3-0 deficit, but that hill looks like a mountain to climb, doesn't it?
Be interesting too to see how Joe Girardi uses his bullpen in the 8th and the 9th. Do you go back with Betances, who's a terrific setup man? We saw him in game 1, and then you've got Chapman, threw a lot of pitches last night to the point that even Joe Girardi had someone getting loose in the pen.
Well, you've got a guy in Adam Warren who has retired 18 in a row. He's, you know, another pretty good choice. Guy was with the Cubs last year, came back to the Yankees, and has pitched very well for them. Their bullpen is stalwart.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Headley is swing and a miss. And a strikeout to start play here in the 7th.
Good changeup from Sokolovic. Excellent.
Cardinals pitchers have combined to strike out 14. Look at the game summary. New York scored first in the 1st inning, scoring on a wild pitch, and then an error in the 6th. Also a bloop double that should have been caught. That led to a couple of runs. There's that changeup again, and Miguel has got one of the better changeups in this bullpen.
Oh yeah.
No one throwing yet in the Yankees pen. Wonder what the issue was on the right arm there of Sabathia. And right when he went into the dugout, the medical team was there to take a look at it. Couple of hops hit to Jerko, plenty of time, but he makes the play. So Bird is hitless again, 0 for 3 with a walk. Higashioka will be the batter with 2 outs and nobody on. He is struck out swinging back in the 2nd, popped out with 2 runners on to short, and lined out with the bases loaded in the 5th.
Don't mind the offer when you're catching a shutout. That's an adage in baseball, kind of related solely to catching. The pride behind the plate when you're putting down the right fingers.
Crowd today here at Yankee Stadium, 43,031. 43031. Two balls and a strike. Interleague matchups this year for the Cardinals include Toronto, Boston. It's both home and road. Baltimore, Kansas City, Boston, and Tampa Bay. The 2-1 pitch. The Plaza Tire Fox Tracks hitters count, and he pulls the string on the 2-1. 8th inning, the Cardinals left Grichuk, Jerko, and Fowler due up. Good work by Miguel. Sokolovic strikes out 2 in a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th. Yankees on top as we head to the 8th. Cincinnati, one of the surprises to start in the Central, 7-4. Milwaukee 6-5, Pittsburgh 4-6, and the Cardinals have won 3 of their first 10 games. Sabathia pitching into the 8th. Randall Grichuk hit one to the track back in the 2nd, also flied out to center. Yankees with a right-hander starting to loosen in their pen. Oh, 2.
Not only how you're playing through the first 10 games of the season, but how quickly you can get out of it. And that's what's confronting the Cardinals right now.
Strikeout number 6 for Sabathia.
How quickly, when you stop the bleeding.
I think what's concerning too, it's the losses, but the manner in which they're losing the games.
You're right.
Not all losses are created equal, if you will.
That's true. That's true.
You know, some of these games have been ugly.
Including this one.
Yep. Here's Jerko, grounded out to short and also lined out to left. As the lights come on here at Yankee Stadium. Sabathia here this afternoon, now at 96 pitches. 2 balls, no strikes on Jerko. And Jerko with a fly ball out to deep right. It's at the wall and it's gone. Jed Jerko, opposite field home run, his 2nd of the year, 2nd on this trip. And the Cardinals get on the board. That makes it a 3-1 Yankees lead.
Well, if the Yankees, who are in the American League, knew what National League pitchers know about Jerko based on last year, they wouldn't throw him a fastball in the strike zone. I know they have a 3-0 lead, but that's just a matter of not knowing a hitter right there.
That's it for CC. one out. Jed Jerko with our Nissan drive of the game. And this knocks Sabathia out of the game.
And National League pitchers, to further that point, they know what kind of power Jerko has. He can hit the ball out in any part of the ballpark. And that's any ballpark. Adam Warren, in relief of Sabathia, has retired, as we said, 18 straight batters in the bullpen this year.
Originally selected by the Yankees 4th round in 2009. Was picked up by the Cubs in the Starlin Castro deal and then brought back over to the Yankees in the Chapman deal.
In a way, he's like Sokolovich, a good changeup. And Yankee bullpen giving you a lot of different looks. They have the hard throwers in Chapman. Betances can get you out with a lot of stuff. And then Clippard and Warren, unto themselves, different pitchers.
You got Tommy Lane as your lefty specialist.
Yep.
So balance is out there.
Yeah.
2-0 the count on Dexter Fowler. Fowler has struck out, grounded out to second, and also flied out to right. The shift is on here for Dexter. Well, the Cardinals were counting so heavily on the top 3 in this lineup to be on-base machines, if you will. And there's no reason to think it won't be that way before it's all said and done.
Sure.
But Fowler is hitting well below 200. Carpenter right around 200. And that's been an issue. One thing you notice with the lineup here early, at least, there isn't that big threat.
Not yet. Only 9 home runs on the year. But another key element is lack of speed.
And Fowler strikes out on that changeup. Here's Aledmys Diaz with 2 outs and nobody on. 3-1 our score in the top of the 8th. Diaz today grounded out to short, struck out, and popped out to second. That was the first Cardinal hit, that home run, since back in the 4th. Cardinals have a base hit by Martinez to right field in the 2nd. Also a base hit by Carpenter to right. That was in the 4th, and then the home run by Jerko moments ago. This is unfamiliar territory for the Cardinals. You know, when you think about how they've started this season, expectations high, and you also wonder, you start to lose, the manner in which you lose, the pressure that you put on yourself too.
Sure.
The 2-1 is pulled foul.
So tough to do that when you're going the worst, you try to keep it as simple as possible, and what you're doing is not simple. It's very complicated. Boggles the mind, messes with the mind.
The 2-2.
And then after a while it becomes more mental than physical.
Yep. Line out to third. Cardinals get on the board with a home run by Jerko. Cardinals. We move to the bottom of the 8th. And a new pitcher in for St. Louis is Jonathan Broxton, and it's our Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
I think all Cardinal fans know, as you see Jerko's second home run of the year, bringing the lumber for the Cardinals. Lumber's been sparse thus far. But after all is said and done, the difference in this game right now is a head-first slide with the left arm of the guy at the plate right now, to Reyes.
First pitch out to center. Fowler backing up to make the catch.
If he doesn't make that, if he doesn't make that slide, you can make a case for this being a tie game.
Sure. It was his hustling play on a ball that was lost off the bat by Diaz and Grichuk. Fowler was late getting there, and he hustled to second base, made it a double, and eventually he would be at third base. Martinez committed the error. So 1 out and nobody on, and a strike to Brett Gardner, who has walked a couple of times, scored a run. He scored on a wild pitch back in the first, struck out, and also grounded out. Here's the 0-1. Take a look at the play that Tim was talking about. Turns that bloop into a double. Eventually reviewed, but somehow he holds on to the bag and came around to score. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Brett Gardner. Cardinals have gotten good work out of their bullpen after Martinez. Cecil came in, struck out 2 to end the 6th. Miguel Sokolovich a 1-2-3 7th, and Broxton has retired the first man that he saw.
most part, Jonathan Broxton, everything is hard. Does not have a changeup to complement that fastball. An occasional breaking ball, but for the most part, it's one inning of heat.
The 2-2. Gardner pops it up left side. Peralta over and can't come up with it.
Peralta looking up in the air like he missed that or couldn't see that ball. Ball did not have a lot of hang time, in fairness to Johnny, but it was a ball that it could have been caught had he seen it right away.
2-2 pitch. Grounder to the right side and a base hit. Reminder, we have the Carlos Martinez Kids home white jersey coming up. Compliments of Powerade and Shop and Save. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. That's Sunday, April 30th. So one out base hit by Gardner brings in Aaron Hicks. Last time up, bounced back to Martinez, who hopped off the mound, barehanded the ball, threw off balance to the plate, and threw it to the backstop, which allowed the run to score. And that scoots away from Molina as he slams down his mask in disgust.
You don't see that often, and now slams the ball down and whacks it out of the air and throws out that one. You don't see that reaction by Molina. And to be perfectly fair, he did not go after that ball very well. Went after it with his mitt, backhanded it, as opposed to getting down on it. He's had a rough day behind the plate.
Wild pitch, charge to Broxton. Puts a man in scoring position. And the 1-0 to Aaron Hicks. Make the case it's been really two back-to-back games that have been tough on Molina. Last night, ball that got away on the throw by Wong.
Right. Keep playing that game.
No question. One and two.
That's a bad play. Got a guy on second base. Whenever in baseball verbiage, you leave it up to the next guy, and that for the most part is what you're doing, bunting with a man on second base. I mean, here's a guy who homered from both sides of the plate 2 days ago, and he's bunting with a guy in scoring position. Bad play.
1-2 the count. Two and two. A swing and a miss. So Broxton gets the strikeout. Not many times a team strikes out 16 times in a game and they have the lead or win the game, and that's the case right now for the Yankees. They've struck out 16 times.
Wow. Three times for Chris Carter and an RBI single in the 6th.
2 outs, runner at second. Oh, and 2. Cardinals in the 9th will have Carpenter, Piscotty, and Molina due up. And you get the feeling that Chapman is off limits today. He's not been throwing in their pen. The 0-2. On 1 and 2, Carter hits it out of play.
Chris Carter, a guy that pitchers, for the most part, want to feature all hard stuff. He's a better off-speed hitter. That base hit he had off Martinez to left field was on a hanging slider.
Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's tapped foul. The 1-2. This is only the 12th time since 1913 that the Yankees have struck out 16 times in a game.
Man, good going.
And in those games, they have just 3 wins. The 2-2 pitch by Broxton. The check swing did not go.
1913, to give you an idea of how long ago that was the year before World War I.
It was Martinez who struck out 11, Cecil 2, Sokolovich 2, and now Broxton with 1 here in the bottom of the 8th and trying to make it 2. And he struck him out. Carter strikes out for the 4th time, and that's 17 strikeouts in the lineup today by the New York Yankees. Yet a 2-run lead as we head to the 9th. It's our Chevy call to the pen, and Tyler Clippard will be asked to get the final 3 outs. As Al mentioned, not a lot of offense. Cardinals with just 3 hits today. They've been out hit 5-3, and they trailed 3-1.
Yeah, Clippard coming into the game last night, he retired 2 men on 2 fly balls, 1 to center. Colton Wong flied to center. Dexter Fowler flied to right.
First batter is Carpenter.
This guy's a good pitcher.
Sure is. And he's not foreign to this spot. He has been at times thrust into a closer's role with various teams.
Probably his best spot, though, is a setup man, I think. But he's in a safe situation here.
And the 0-1 pitch taken high by Carpenter. Clippard from Lexington, Kentucky.
Bluegrass country.
He was acquired by the Yankees last year from the Diamondbacks at the trade deadline.
Heck, the Kentucky Derby's in a couple of weeks, right?
It's coming up.
Yeah.
In 2012, Clippard had 32 saves for the Nationals. Last year he had 2 with New York and 1 with Arizona.
He's a resourceful guy that's always changing his stuff. Change up, slider. That was a slider there to get Carpenter.
Last time the Cardinals had 17 strikeouts in a game and lost was 1970. May 21st, 1970 at Philly. And Piscotty looks at the changeup for a strike. If the Yankees hold on, they'll go to 7-4. The Cardinals would drop to 3-8. Piscotty hit by a pitch. He's grounded out and also flied out to right center.
He tried to get timeout from home plate umpire Will Little. He had that right hand up. Clippard was in his motion. And finally, Will granted Steven timeout.
The 0-1 pitch. 0-2.
Hitters refer to guys like Clippard as funky.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get anything pure from him. He's tough to center.
Delivery's a little different.
Yeah.
Herky jerky at times. And Piscotty with a drive out to right, and this one is gone. An opposite field home run to cut the lead to 3-2. Stephen Piscotty, his second home run of the year.
And with one swing of the bat, Stephen Piscotty has made this a one swing of the bat ball game. Second home run of this road trip, his last on Wednesday in Washington. This one just out in right center, and Clippard can't believe it.
I said, wow.
Yeah.
Here's Molina. First pitch swung on and missed. And again, it's another one of these games. If the Cardinals cannot come back, you think, what if? What if Martinez makes that play? What if they catch a routine fly ball in shallow left?
About 4 or 5 what ifs in a 3-2 ball game. That's a lot.
Here's the 0-1. Now 0-2. Molina, a strikeout. And the Cardinals will pinch hit Jose Martinez with Matt Adams. This is the role that Adams last couple of years has been very good at.
One of the best pinch hitters in the major leagues last year.
It certainly could tie it with one swing of the bat.
Oh yeah.
Shift is on for Adams. Goes the other way and a foul ball.
Yeah, forced to go the other way because of the pitch. Kind of that funky breaking ball away. Matt up there hacking and lined one foul.
Greg Garcia has moved to the on-deck circle. If Adams can extend it, he would pinch hit for Johnny Peralta. Here's the 0-1. 0-2. One and two. One-two pitch, slow roller. Adams will be aboard. He'll extend the game to Garcia. So just like last night, the tying run is on base here in the 9th inning, and the go-ahead run will come to the plate. Cardinals will pinch run for Adams.
Colton Wong trotting toward first. Only difference between that hit and the hit Adams had last night is he didn't break his bat, but he'll take both of them.
And again, a tough pinch hitter in Greg Garcia.
One of the tougher around. Always gives you a good at bat.
Wong is your runner at first. Ball one.
Wong's job at first base is to anticipate a ball in the dirt. He gets one, he tries for second.
The 1-0. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, one of the tougher jobs in baseball is pinch running because you have no place to warm up in the dugout.
Nowhere to get loose.
No. Not to get loose to do the type of job you have to do when you pinch run.
Yeah. You can stretch all you want. But
right.
It's not the same. Two and 0 the count now on Greg Garcia. 2-1. The 2-1. Popped up left side, out of play. And once again, the Cardinals down to their final strike. The 2-2.
Key pitch right there. By missing there, that means that Wong will be off the pitch. 3-2, 2 out. Good take by Garcia.
There goes Wong. The 3-2 pitch is fouled back. If Garcia can reach, we'll see Grichuk.
Yankee outfield in a no doubles defense. Play a step or two deeper to try to cut off a ball in the gap, preventing Wong from scoring.
The 3-2 again. And he walked him. What a tough take that was.
Garcia will not swing at a bad ball.
Inning started with a strikeout. Then an 0-2 pitch to Piscotty turned into a home run. Strikeout of Yadier Molina. Adams with 2 strikes. Little squibber against the shift, turns out to be an infield hit. Wong pinch runs for him. Garcia draws the walk, and now it's Randal Grichuk. And a pitch taken high. Jed Jerko, who is homered in this game, is on deck. It's pretty good speed on the bases there for the Cardinals.
Yes.
The 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Grichuk hit one to the track back in the second, fly to center, and struck out in the 8th. The 1-1. 1 and 2. So again, the Cardinals down to the final strike. And the Yankees will look for a sweep tomorrow night. Final today, 3-2. We turn to our player of the game, presented by Budweiser, and CC Sabathia, Tim, pitching into the 8th.
2-0 on the year, 3 straight good starts from Sabathia. Another tough loss for the Cardinals. I mean, it's 3-8 on the year. Tough.
Rugged. Post-game show next.